Go for it.
School security improvement needed. In 2012, 20-year-old Adam Lanza showed up at Sandy Hook, Newtown, and he actually shot and killed 20 first graders. Adam Lanza was actually a well-known high school student. All of his friends liked him. He was never appeared to be like crazy or anything. He came off as normal. He had good social life and everything. He got his layout of the school because his mom, Nancy Lanza, actually volunteered at the high school. So he would often drive by and make visits, and that's where he got the initial layout. He shot his way through the entrance, killing a principal and school psychologist as his first two victims at the school. It's important to note that the school apps had absolutely no security besides a front door buzzer, which is essentially a doorbell. So he just shot through that very easily. According to the CDC, 4.6% of students admitted to taking a gun, knife, or club to school in 2016, and more than half of the schools in the United States were not using metal detectors. While some schools don't even have proficient security, those who are actually there to protect students don't even want to be there. In fact, 31 school shootings have occurred since Columbine, according to Aviva Shen, and 60% of high school students admitted to keeping illegal substances on school grounds, according to the News Times. The three main points I hope to convey are: students are not only students, it is not only violence, and it is not only the perpetrator, but those who are supposed to stop them who are to be held accountable for these crimes. Students attacking students. In 1999, the only type of security Columbine High School had were cameras. Here you can see Eric Harris and Dylan Claywell entering the school with their weapons. In this school shooting, 13 people were actually killed and 20 more wounded before the two boys committed suicide. They actually originally planted bombs throughout the school that were supposed to go off at 11:17. However, when they didn't, that's when they entered with their guns and started their shooting spree. This is such a big problem because they should have never been able to enter the school in trench coats with duffel bags of weapons. The fact that they were enabled to go around their high school and plant bombs without anyone noticing or catching on is actually pretty amazing. And that just goes to show you that there needs to be more security, because that should have never been allowed to happen. My personal experiences. I actually attended Herbert H. Lehman High School. It's a 10-minute walk, literally. You guys probably heard of it before. It has a bad reputation. My first year there was actually a fight on a staircase. A kid took out a metal object from his back pocket and punched the other kid in the face. He was completely knocked unconscious on the floor. There was blood splattered against the wall and the floor, and it took about 10 minutes for security guards to get there. Like, the fight was still ongoing. On multiple occasions, I've seen people come to school intoxicated, and it would be the same person continuously coming. It was an issue brought up but never solved. I have also known people who sold Xanax in the hallways in front of security guards because they are posted on the corners of the halls. Attending Mercy College, while I have never witnessed any violence or drugs in Mercy, it is still extremely easy to just walk in past security, as many of you probably know. You're supposed to show your ID, but I don't. I know friends who don't. You can literally just walk in, and actually there's a down entrance that you could just walk right in as well. So drugs running through the halls. To have known people who sold Xanax, Molly, Adderall, and weed in the hallways is baffling. I know what you're all thinking, security cannot catch everything, but at some point they have to catch something. If it's the same kids doing the same thing in front of your face, you need to be held accountable to stop them. It's your job to be there and to pay attention to what these kids are doing, so this should never happen, especially the amount of times it was happening. There were kids showing up drunk who had to walk past them, as in security guards, and there were kids with liquor in their Arizona bottles who had put them through scanning when you're not, I don't know if you guys have ever had to pass through metal detectors, but you're not supposed to put open bottles through the detectors. So the security guards who told them, it was their job to tell them, like, hey, you can't do that. You have to either throw it out or drink it before you come in. So why are these crimes so easy to commit? Lack of security or inefficient security, ignorant, oblivious to negative outcomes, and it was all too easy to enter the school. Security or babysitter. Let's be honest, how many security guards appeared like they actually want to do their job? Maybe 1 out of 10. Even the security guards here, they sit behind their desks, they're on their phones, on the computer, they don't really pay attention to who's coming in, and they look up for like a millisecond if they do. I went to 5 different schools, with one being in North Carolina. New York schools definitely do have better security than those in the country, more down south. But both of them were plagued by people who just show up for a paycheck. In Lehman, however, it was people who showed up as a friend and not a protector. I've had a scammer friend, his name was Steven. He was friends with the security guards and they would let him come in with stuff that he shouldn't have. He was actually selling drugs in the school. There was a security guard who was actually fired for allowing him to bring his phone in every day. Like, that's not something you do. They were playing favorites. And like I said, befriending the students, and it's not their job to be your friend. They're there to protect you. More security is an inconvenience. I actually know a lot of people who say metal detectors aren't an inconvenience because they make you late to class. They're a waste of time, they're not a necessity. Arguing that they make you late is unacceptable. Then you should be arriving at school a little earlier. Schools can also combat tardiness by adding more metal detectors and security guards, so it's not like 2 when there's a line in the morning. You could have like 4 or 5. You could also combat that by not bringing metal on you. The amount of people who come in with metal belts and then they have stuff in their pockets, just put it in your bag and it could be done in like 2 seconds. So the impact of better security. After the Newtown shooting, multiple schools in the Washington area improved their security systems according to the Washington Post. They acquired cameras at the school entrances, automatic locking doors, shatterproof glass, and buzzer entry systems. They also conducted more drills to give students the proper training in case of an accident. Sharon Burns, a first-grade teacher in Washington, said the upgrades make her and her students feel safer. The rate of violent incidents in the nation's public schools fell between the 2009 to 2010 and 2013 to 2014 school years, a period in which security measures such as surveillance cameras became more widespread according to new federal data released Thursday. So this shows you that the impact of security does make a huge difference. If there was metal detectors, Columbine wouldn't happen. Unfortunately, you never want to imagine that something like that is going to happen to first graders, but if there were metal detectors and police officers or security guards at the front doors, we can only imagine that that would have been prevented, or maybe something would have happened so the death toll wouldn't have been so high. At the end of the day, we really all have to go to school and we have to deal with each other. So we might as well make sure the experience is safe, because it's tragic that these crimes keep happening again when they really shouldn't be. It's 2017. I think we have enough technological advances to stop guns from being brought in or drugs and stuff like that. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.